You
Hey
deleted it.
guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Terica and my channel is called Life with Terica. And this is a platform where I share all things self-care as well as productivity. Now, this video is actually being recorded live, so it's a little bit different. Today we have a special guest, my husband, and we are going to be talking about basically real estate and how to obtain your first property as a real estate investor if that is something that you're interested in. So, I definitely want you guys to join. Drop any comments that you may have below so that we can respond to those. And yeah, we're going to kind of get started. I will let my husband give his introduction. And then if you see me look away, it's just because I'm looking at the comments on my computer or looking down at notes on my phone. So yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? I'm Braylon. I'm Terica's husband, and I'm here to just talk with you all about real estate. And she's going to ask some questions, and I have answers. Is there anything else I need to say?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So we'll basically get started and just give you guys a little bit of a background on how we got started with real estate. So what we did, we of course purchased our home back in about 2019 or so.
Right before the pandemic.
Literally right before the pandemic, which I'm so thankful we got in when we did. Yeah, so we purchased our house and the pandemic hit. So everything pretty much shut down. We couldn't travel anywhere, go anywhere, do anything like that at all. And the reason I am emphasizing that this was really like during the pandemic is because right after or I guess shortly after the pandemic happened, um, homes started increasing. So,
Big time.
yeah.
We got in good. We got in at the right time.
Yeah, so our home basically almost like quadrupled, well, maybe doubled, not quadrupled, but probably.
Almost. What can I say? No, I wouldn't. About 1.5 times its value.
Yeah,
It went up.
it went up a whole lot.
Yeah.
So at any rate, what that means is we essentially was able to build a lot of equity in our home.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes in handy. One of the first things we did, well, first of all, we did have this home. I can't remember we got the Birmingham home before or after.
This was, we got this house first and then the Birmingham
Okay.
house came.
So basically my husband had been like researching. He started listening to several different podcasts, which we'll go over. I'll ask you about those. Yeah. And it really kind of enticed him to like want to get deeper and learn more and just build this financial freedom, because honestly he was tired of work, like, and still tired of work. So he was like, I just don't want to do this, and he started kind of losing interest in a sense.
I'm still working now. You can't.
I say you started losing interest.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I know. So I started losing interest in certain things, and so just decided like, hey, there's more out there to life. There's more freedom that we would like to have. But working pays the bills right now, so we are going to continue to do that.
One thing I learned from somebody or someone told me is that you have to look at your job as your business partner.
Yeah.
The business partner is going to help you give you leverage to pay for the things that you need to do things on the side.
Yeah. So basically, again, that would help kind of fund what we were starting initially. But he kept looking into things, and we ended up taking out a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, to help fund our first home. And then if you want, you can kind of go into that, and then I'll start asking you some more questions.
Right. So pertaining to the HELOC, as you know, pandemic happened, the value and equity in our house rose significantly. And what I learned from different podcasts, researching, Googling information on HELOCs was, go to your small local banks to ask them about, borrowing money out of your house, because they're more willing to give you funds to borrow from HELOCs as opposed to when you go to larger banks like Chase, what's some of the other, Wells Fargo.
Well, yeah.
So as opposed to those banks, I went to a small local bank that was, about 2-minute drive away from the house. And from there, I asked them, they walked me through the process. They said I was able to have an appraisal done on a house without, I wouldn't have to get an appraisal done as far as obtaining the HELOC. And we basically went off of the home value of our house, what Zillow said. We got that value. Not gonna say. Can I say it?
I wouldn't have to.
We went off of the value that Zillow gave when you typed in our home address, and they just took it. They didn't do an appraisal or anything like that. And I think we were able to get 80% of that, and that's the money we took out for the HELOC. And the good thing about a HELOC is that it's not a loan. It's not really a loan. When you take out a loan, you'll immediately have to start paying on that monthly. But a line of credit is where they give you a certain amount that you're able to take out of your home, and you don't have to pay on it until you use it. So it's like a credit card. So that's what really enticed me to, go the HELOC route.
Yeah.
So all this to say, it's good to just go ahead and get in a home so you can have those opportunities to invest in the things you need to.
Exactly. And some people are so against home buying and things like that. Honestly, you have to do what's right for you, because it's not always the best time to get in a house. So just make sure you do what's right for you. For us, it was a no-brainer. And it helped us to fund our other real estate investments that we do have. Because we have a rental, like a midterm rental, we have done a flip, and then we have a Section 8 home. So we're kind of dibbling and dabbling through a lot of different realms within the real estate investment area, but there's so many good options out there. So what would you say were your top resources or top influences to learn from when it comes to real estate?
Shout out to Bigger Pockets podcast.
Yes.
And shout out to the Rents and Gems podcast. It was one specific episode that stuck out to me from Rents and Gems. So shout out to Matt Garland, and I forget the guest name that he interviewed, but shout out to him.
And Bigger Pockets. So Bigger Pockets was the podcast was something that we listened to all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we would drive from Atlanta to Birmingham to Montgomery, everywhere, just listening to these podcasts. They have a lot of gems. So that is a great podcast. If you want to get into real estate investing, start listening to that podcast. They drop so much knowledge on how you can kind of get started. You're also listening to other people who have done this, and you're listening
to normal people.
Yeah.
You're listening to normal people who do it, who have done it. And now that's all that they do. So it gives you more inspiration than anything. Of course, it's educational, but I think you really listen to it to get the inspiration.
Yeah, because it's
jump out there.
If they can do it, then you realize that you can do it as well.
Yeah.
So tell them about, I guess, any type of strategies. Like so let's say I'm brand new. So if you're watching this video, you may be brand new and wanting to hop into this, and you might not even realize how many different strategies there are. So for you guys, I named that we actually have done 3 different strategies. One is going to be a long-term rental, which we actually converted into midterm. The second one we did was a fix and flip. So we rehab. And then the third one was Section 8. So just kind of talk about or touch on some of the different things that you can do within real estate, and why you would choose one over the other, maybe.
Let's take a step back first.
Okay.
It's a strategy that we didn't get the chance to execute on.
Which one?
House hacking.
Oh, we did not get, okay. So that's a very good strategy. Very, very, very good strategy. And if you are single, not married and have not purchased a house, then you definitely need to get on there.
Right. So with house hacking, let's say you're new to, you want to get into real estate investing. Uh, you don't have a significant amount of funds.
Mm-hmm.
The best way is house hacking.
Mm-hmm.
The way to enter, the way to execute this is, let's say you're single and you have different types of properties. You have single family homes and you have small multifamily. Small multifamily ranges from 2 units, a duplex, 3 units, triplex, 4 units, fourplex, or quadruplex, however you want to name it. And you're able to use an FHA loan that requires 3.5% of the entire purchase price of the property. So what you can do is you can put that 3.5% down on a, let's say, $150,000 or $200,000 duplex, or let's just say duplex. Make it simple. 3.5% down on a 200,000 duplex. Can you put that in the calculator? I'm not good with math like that. So
okay.
3.5% of 200,000 is what?
Hold on, we're gonna calculate that.
35 times
200,000.
That's $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you got to save money. You got to have some money. You got to have some money.
You do. So, basically have enough to be able to put down money on something in order to get started. Just like we did, with our home now. Mm-hmm. You want to put some money down. And then once you are in the house for, a year or two or something like that, then you can look at pulling out a HELOC. But with this house hacking, this is gold. And honestly, it's something that I wish we would have done a long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago. You can actually do it like, with a friend as well. So you can purchase a house, a duplex, stay in one side, rent the other side out. The person who's renting the other side basically is paying your mortgage.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Who wouldn't want that? I mean, that's gold to me.
Yeah, and this one thing that really that I learned it from was from a Rants and Gems episode, like I referred to before. His name was Julius Gordon. He referred to it as the 4-3-2-1 method. First, get a quadplex, a four unit building. Use a FHA loan, 3.5% down. Stay in it for 1 year, rent the other 3 units out. After a year, you're able to use the FHA loan again. All right. Now you can go and get a triplex. Go get a triplex. Mm-hmm. And then because when you use the FHA loan or a conventional loan twice, they expect it to be like you're upgrading from your previous property. So triplex, that's considered an upgrade in the underwriter's eyes.
Yeah.
So moving to a triplex, you stay in 1 unit and rent the other 2 out. And all the while, that fourplex, you rented out that 4th unit that you were staying in. So you got 4 doors. You got 4 doors that's producing your cash flow, paying off of that mortgage. Mm-hmm. And more than likely, you should be, if the numbers work, you should be putting you should have a nice cash flow from that 4 unit building.
Exactly.
And then a triplex next year, moving to a duplex. Mm-hmm. Duplex, stay in it a year.
And then you keep doing it. You basically repeat that cycle. You repeat that process.
And then you that's when you move into your single family home.
Yeah.
But all the while, you got 4, 3, 2, you got more than 6 units. You got more than 6 units that you have tenancy and paying a month on those mortgages. So I wish that I wasn't into real estate by the time I had, was exposed to the information, but that's the easiest way to get into real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely less risk-free because you're not putting as much money down too. Mm-hmm. So house hacking, that
is key. So look up house hacking because that is going to be a surefire way that you can kind of get started into getting your first real estate investment property.
Yep. Yep.
The other strategy that we do is a long-term rental. So we have this long-term rental property that we're holding in Alabama. And basically we are trying to rent that out. Well, we initially were trying to rent that out to a single family. Well, we honestly, it has a split level. So we actually wanted to see about.
We wanted it to be an Airbnb.
Yeah,
we wanted it to be
initially.
a short-term rental. And
Yeah.
the original plan was in the basement to have someone in the basement because it had like a kitchen and had wash and dry connections in there, and had a kitchen, full bath, and a full bedroom in there. So it was
downstairs.
Yeah.
And then also the same upstairs.
It was large enough for 2 people to live in that basement.
Yeah.
And then the upper level had 2 beds and 1 bath. And a kitchen as well as wash and dry connections up there. So that was the plan, but that just didn't work out. I don't feel like getting into why it didn't work out.
Yeah. So anyway, we had to convert it. So we ended up converting it to like a midterm rental. So therefore, people would rent it out for longer periods of time, but not fully for like a year. So anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, people would go in and rent that out. So those are attractive to people who maybe are doing contract work. It's attractive to your travel nurses or somebody who's going to be in that particular area for, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, anywhere from 3 to 6 months, essentially. So midterm is another good option and another good thing to look at. So that's the second strategy. The third strategy that we're doing is the fix and flip.
Fix and flips. That's currently what we're focusing on now. Fix and flip. We just completed our first one. Really, really good learning experience. Heavy on the learning lesson experience. And the things that we learned, managing contractors and due diligence. That's the key word. Doing extra due diligence.
Do your due diligence when it comes.
Learn the lesson about due diligence with our first fix and flip.
Yeah, but basically, essentially, with the fix and flip, you buy a home. Usually, it's super cheap, so you're not in the home. The very distressed condition. This home is not going to be pretty. This is not going to be your forever home. So just keep that in mind. But you buy the home, and then you will hire or outsource contractors to renovate that home, get it up to par, make it look nice or decent enough to resell that, and then you list it and sell it. And then you would kind of deduct the amount that you spent or deduct the amount that you paid from the amount that you spent, and then get your difference. And that's essentially how you make a
consensus of a fix and flip.
And that one's going to give you a lump sum of money. So if you're looking for quick, fast money, that's going to be your strategy.
It ain't fast.
Well, a larger amount in a shorter amount of time. That is going to get you that's going to be that strategy for that. So fix and flip is a good way to go, but you have to have good contractors. And the outside scenario or outside weather conditions, all of those things need to be normal. Yeah, because if it's winter time, if it's cold outside, ice or something like that, that is going to stop you or the contractors.
Exterior work. So we needed the siding replaced on this house. And this property is in Cleveland. We're long distance investors, so we're in Atlanta. This house is in Cleveland. Siding needed to be replaced, and siding needed to be scraped and painted on the sides and the back of the house as well. Yeah. So there were delays with that.
Because of the weather. Like it was cold. It was ice on the road. It snows in Cleveland. So that delayed the contractors from being able to go out and do the work, which also pushed our deadline back some more, which meant that we couldn't get our money as quick as we wanted to because things got pushed back and it just took so long. So if you are looking to fix and flip, like keep that in mind. You may want to flip where you are so that you can be on site. I do recommend that you are there on site, knowing what's going on. You're seeing what the contractors are doing so that they do not try to shortchange your work. So I highly, highly recommend that. For us, because we're investing out of state or long distance, we did not have that. So we have to kind of rely or trust our contractors to make sure
Yeah.
that they're doing a good job. They did FaceTime us,
FaceTime this.
all of that.
Now, all this to say, they did a good job.
Yeah.
They did a good job on the rehab.
Yeah.
It's just that we went over budget.
Yeah. So don't go over budget. Don't go over budget, because the more you go over budget, the less your take home.
Taking away.
The less you're taking home. So also keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But I feel like fix and flip is a very, very good strategy if somebody is looking, to do that.
If you're trying to build up your capital, that's the way to do it. Fix and flips and wholesaling. Now, I haven't tried wholesaling. Wholesaling is where you call owners of homes that you think that may not have interest in those houses. So a tired landlord or an abandoned home, and there's ways you can look up the owners of those homes and then get in contact with those owners and say, hey, are you interested in selling this home? And when you talk directly to the seller of these properties, you're getting it at an extremely discounted cost. And from there, you can, without doing any work to the property, you can flip that. You can get the house under contract with the seller and sell that contract to other investors who would be looking to rehab and flip the property. So, for instance, I talked to this homeowner. Their property looks a little distressed. It doesn't look like anyone is staying in the property.
Mm-hmm.
I use skip tracing or any type of method where I can search the address and find that homeowner's contact. Yeah. Get in contact with them. Hey, do you want to? Are you looking to sell this home? They're not interested in keeping it. They sell it to me for $50,000. I say, okay, all right, let's get this under contract. I get the seller to sell the document to sign the purchase agreement. I got it under contract. So now that I have it under contract for $50,000, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to flip that piece of paper that I signed. I'm trying to flip the contract for $65,000 to investors.
Yeah.
Hey, investor, I got a house under contract for $65,000. I have a house for sale for $65,000, and if the investor will, look at the address, do whatever analysis that they want to do, and say, yeah, I'll go ahead and purchase it, and they're gonna purchase the home for $65,000. My take home pay, I'm taking $15,000 out of that deal.
Yeah. So that's wholesale. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's what, 3 strategies that we've already discussed. I think that's the third.
Let's simplify it.
Okay.
Let's simplify it. So you
have house hacking. That's number 1.
Of getting into, how are we doing this? Of how to get into real estate?
Yeah, like how to obtain your first. Okay. Yeah, so that's the
how to get into
how to obtain your first rental investment property. Yeah.
You have wholesaling.
Mm-hmm. House hacking.
You have house hacking. You have
BRRRR.
The BRRRR, we still got to go with that.
Yeah.
The BRRRR strategy and fix and flips.
Yeah. And Section 8, but that's just more of a method.
That's a
long-term rental. That's just more of a method. So
that's under the category of a long-term rental because they just paying. That's a long-term rental.
Yeah.
You're receiving a payment monthly.
Hey, Alyssa. Alyssa has joined. Tell me if this looks a little grainy or if it's clear. I really can't tell. On my phone, it looks grainy, but on my camera, it looks clear, so I'm not sure. But the other method last method that we have to discuss is, I guess, the long-term. No, it would be BRRRR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be the BRRRR strategy.
So the BRRRR strategy is where you buy, rent it out. No, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and then repeat.
Yes. So you're going to do that entire strategy.
We did that strategy.
Yeah,
too.
we did do that strategy. Oh man, Alyssa said it looks grainy.
Oh man.
I don't know why it looks grainy. Sorry. Oh well. I don't know. I can't stress over it. Whatever.
Fix it up later. Fix it up later. So this was the first property that we purchased in Cleveland. I found a realtor in Cleveland, and this realtor had a lot of different resources for me to use. He gave me a contractor. I found a property manager through him. Found the insurance through him. And what else did I find? I already said property manager and the contractor through him. So found a house in Cleveland for $58,000, bought it, and had it rehabbed for $25,000. So my all-in cost was around $83,000 or $85,000. We rented it out to Section 8. Yeah, we rented it out to a Section 8 tenant, and they're paying $12.45 a month. And
now this is guaranteed now, okay? So the good thing is, if you are looking to get into that type of strategy, the government is going to pay you your money. So keep that in mind. If you are wanting to do this and be your own landlord, then you have to remember that you may not get paid all the time. You may not get paid on time. So you have to keep that in mind. And I know 2 people now who have had tenants. They were trying to manage their landlord themselves, and the tenants did not pay 4 months, like 4 months. So they had to evict the people, and that's the whole process in itself. Even if you evict the person, it does not necessarily guarantee that you're going to get your money. They're just now out of your house. So the ones that I know, they're having to go to court to literally fight, to get that.
Sometimes it probably just ain't even worth it. It's just
sometimes it's not, because it might not even be that much,
Get the tenant in there. Get another tenant in. And move on.
So.
But back to the burst strategy, we put a Section 8 tenant in there for $12.45 a month. So every month, government putting a check into a deposit into our account. Yeah. And 10% is taken away from the property management. We are paying a property management company to manage the property. So any inspections, any problems that the tenant has, they contact them. They don't call me. Because what can I do? I'm in Atlanta. So as a long distance investor, I believe you gotta have the property manager to deal with, tenant issues or any other concerns with the property that you're renting out. And at that point, after we got the tenant in there paying the rent, that's when we did a cash out refinance. To pull somebody out of that property. And when you do a cash out refinance, when you pull the value out of that property, you get a lump sum. You have to go through closing again, and you get that lump sum, and it's you don't have to pay taxes on the amount that you pull out of the house. So that's a good thing. And then you take that money that you pulled out and you
redo. I mean, you're putting it back all into the cycle. It's literally like a cycle. So that's something that is very helpful and comes in handy. You just keep doing it until you build up the cash flow from that particular strategy. So
so that's the burst strategy. But after I got that property, we got the property rented out, I just had an epiphany, like, this is going to be a very, very slow method of us getting to where we want to be. So
you have to have patience with that one for sure. And I think that's why we kind of changed our mind to start doing the fix and flip, because again, if you recall earlier, I said that is how you can get a larger amount of money in a smaller amount of time. So that's why we essentially did that.
Because when you think about it, you get a few properties rented out like the one that we're talking about now. It's not making you're not quitting your job from doing that. It's bringing in $12.45 a month. The mortgage that we refinanced it into, it costs $808 a month. So $12.45. Take 10% out from that $12.45 minus $808. You got a small amount of cash flow.
I mean, maybe a couple $100, at the most. So
it's not life changing.
That part is not life changing, but I mean, who knows? Over time, it can make a difference, because the equity in the home should have increased from the time you bought it to the time it is, 5 years from now.
That, and as you make payments on the mortgage, the principal goes down over time.
Right.
That increases your equity too. So you're looking for appreciation in the property value as time goes by. The value just goes up. and you're paying the principal down
Yeah.
as you continue to make monthly payments on the mortgage.
Yeah.
So that's another way that your equity in the
it's going to go
property
increase. Yeah,
So
it's going to increase.
it's a long-term thing. It's a long-term type of strategy. Very useful, but if you're trying to make moves now,
then that's not the strategy. Yeah,
fix and
that's
flips
not the
is the way you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Fix and flips.
For sure.
So, that's all we're focused on: buying homes, renovating, and it doesn't have to be extreme renovation.
Now you got to
know how to look for deals.
Yeah,
I'm a deal finder. I find good deals.
You're not gonna do.
I take pride in how I find my deals.
And that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
So just tell them how when we use the 1% rule. So just kind of give them an idea of what the 1% rule is when you're looking for deals. What exactly it is that we are supposed to be looking at, because the 1% rule is what we learn from the bigger podcast and like being in that group and stuff like that. So yeah, you could just kind of explain and share. So
1% that goes back to dealing with the long-term rentals. So 1% rule, when you're searching for, let's say you're looking for a turnkey rental property, or no, we can use this the rental that we have as an example too. So the way that you can measure the way that you can measure if you have a good deal or not, a good long-term rental deal, is that you calculate the rent, rent that you're collecting every month. So our rent payment is $12.45 a month. You take that $12.45 a month and divide it by the your all-in cost of the property. So our all-in cost for the property when we bought it, including the rehab, was $58,000 plus $25,000, so around $85,000.
58 was the base, $25,000.
Yeah, so around $83,000-$85,000 in that range. So $12.45 divided by $87,000 is what? $12.45 divided by. We'll do 87,000. Divided by 87.
Can't pull up my calculator fast enough.
It is. Is it? It's 0.014. So times that by 100. That's 1.4%.
So that beats the 1% rule.
That beats the 1% rule.
Which might be a good deal for you to go ahead and hop on.
And the reason why it may be a good deal is because you'll have enough cash flow to allocate towards different things like your CapEx, your expenditures,
all your expenses and stuff.
Things to break in the home, things that you may need to replace in the home, and your major mechanicals over time,
right? Exactly.
Like your roof, your in Cleveland you have furnaces. You have furnaces for heat in Cleveland, and hot water towers. All your major bills that you may need to attend to. Or maintain.
Yeah.
That's what they go.
So that's pretty much our strategies. I mean, as far as like what we've done. And as far as like what you guys could do or how you can start off by obtaining that. And there are other methods too. If you're not able to like put the money down on a home or something like that, you can also check and look for a hard money lender. So those are people who just have the cash flow, who can help you. Now they're going to charge a higher interest rate, but it's better than going to a bank or someone who, may not be able to give you that amount.
So what's a hard money lender? A hard money lender is a bank or an entity that's able to lend you the amount of money to purchase the home,
rehab and renovate the home,
and the amount of money to rehab. So they combine the purchase of the home and the rehab costs. So purchase and rehab, that'll be your loan amount.
Yeah.
And they'll charge you a high interest rate from maybe 10 to 12% to pay off of monthly. So it's good to use for fix and flips, definitely. Not recommended for rental properties. It's not recommended. It's good for fix and flips.
Yeah, because that's gonna be you're gonna get that money back quickly, and so you can just pay off that hard money lender, hard money loan in a quick amount of time instead of, because remember it's a higher interest rate, so it's not going to be as low as some of the typical banks, even though they're not that low anymore, but it's not going to be as low as you normally would see it. So you want to get that paid off much quicker.
Meaning, when you're going through a fix and flips, your contractors need to be.
They need to be on it. They need to be on it. They need to be on it. Which is why
if your project delayed, you're losing money because you're paying on that hard money loan every month.
Exactly. So yeah, I hope this was very helpful. Did you have anything else to recommend or to suggest? We can always do a part 2.
Okay.
We can always do a part 2 because we gotta go get our baby. It's 4:35, so and we can talk about this.
I'll say this: most important thing is learn how to find deals, analyze deals,
use that 1%.
Know what's a good deal. Know what's is to learn is to know what a good deal is,
because that's gonna mess you up, but. Does anyone, will probably take maybe 2 minutes or so for questions if anybody has any questions. And
that's it.
If not, I didn't even read all of these. Alyssa, I know who I'm gonna call when it's our time. BT Consulting. Hit us up, girl. Hit us up.
Dang, she done gave us a business name.
Yeah, BT Consulting. Come on, BT Consulting. I'm sorry about it looking grainy. I don't know why that is, but I hope that the information was still valuable and that you were able to learn something in order to get started. If you missed the beginning of it, I do recommend that you go back and look at the beginning, because we talk about, how we got started, the resources that we used essentially to kind of get started, and then the methods and strategies we use to get started and obtain our first rental property. And you can use those same strategies as well. But Alyssa, I will text you on how to get your video like this. Thank you guys for this super informative. Good. I'm so glad. We'll catch you guys on the next live. Let me know what you want to. Oh, actually, is there another? I don't know. What else you want to see? What other information would you like to know and like to see? Now, I'm also going to still do like my self-care and productivity lives, but if there's more information that you guys want on real estate, like we are down to do however many lives and like whatever other topics you guys want us to, because we're going through it. When some of the areas we're still learning, but we definitely are always here to help provide more information, because we want to see everybody win. Like if we can do it, honestly, y'all can do it too. And so we just want to show you guys what we know, because we didn't have anybody to really tell us. It's literally been us figuring this out on our own, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, trial and error, taking risks, making mistakes, losing money. Like we've done it all. So we've done it all, so you don't have to. But just let us know. But thanks so much for joining, guys, and we'll catch y'all in the next live. Bye.